Yesterday I was on here talking with my friend Latifa, and she referenced my song Pacific that I released a few months ago, which is a song of affirmation. And then coincidentally, later that day, I ran into this quote I had posted a year ago by a mystic named Rabia. The quote reads, "I was once a sleeping ocean and in a dream became jealous of a pond." And I reposted and thought how much I love that until a few hours went by and it was not sitting 100% with me. And I realized it's because the object or the perceived object of our jealousy and envy is so often another person. And we don't want to live from a place where we need to diminish our perception of another person in order to embody our full magnificence. I don't need someone else to be a pond in order for me to be an ocean. So a better image for me, to me, might be the Pacific being envious of the Atlantic, both glorious bodies of water ultimately connected, serving great purpose, full of depth and power and beauty, magnitude. And to sit with that image in meditation might be helpful to you to really become the ocean and realize how expansive you are and how there's plenty of room for other people to also be oceans. But here's what I also want to say. 3 points about jealousy that maybe you haven't considered, and then some really good news. The first point is that we can feel really gross when we feel jealous, when we feel envy, or when we feel triggered by someone else's whatever they have that we think we want. And it might help you to really understand that it's not even about them. It is always about you. And that's tied into point number 2, which is feeling triggered by something is actually a gift. It is you, your subconscious, trying to talk to you, trying to bring something to your attention. So use it as a tool and chase it down. Spend some time with that feeling of insecurity and discomfort, and realize you don't actually, if you pursue the thought, if you use Byron Katie's thought challenging process called the work, you'll realize this isn't about this person. I don't want them to be smaller. I don't want them to be less than. This is about me. And part of that, number 3, is using that tool to figure out and actually own your true desires. Is there something that you're seeing that you want, and maybe you haven't allowed yourself to own it, to admit it, to want it? Where this gets a little tricky is what you think you want right off the bat might not actually be the ultimate destination that you're seeking. In other words, you might be thinking, I want 1 million people to like my post. That's not probably actually your ultimate desire. Why do you want those? Keep asking why. Why do I want them to like that post? Because then that will mean this. And why do I want that? Because that means this. I think it always comes down to the fact that we want to outsource our sense of wholeness and worthiness. And it's a job that no one else is equipped or purposed to do. And it'll never work. It does not ever work in that direction. And we have all of Hollywood as evidence of that wealth, validation, external validation, success, and visibility are not the things that make people happy. They can only shine a light and amplify what's already there. And so this is the good news. The good news about all of this is that not only is it not about the other person, not only is it a really helpful tool, and not only are you about to wake up to your real desires, but it's also within your grasp. It's within your power to give yourself pretty much everything that you're really, really wanting and needing. And it has to start with you, in fact. You can't ask people to get in a car that you haven't built yet. So you've got to build your car. You've got to see you. You've got to love you. You've got to believe you're worthwhile and that your work is worth investing in and developing, that your voice is worth calling out and developing and investing in. And that is hard, and it takes you working on both mindset, beliefs, and taking action at the same time. If you work only on action, you're just going to be frenetic, and it's going to be going against your deeply held beliefs. It's not going to get you really anywhere. You're going to be like Fred Flintstone with your feet on the pavement, but you can't get very far very fast. On the other hand, if you're all mindset but no action, you're kind of like the guy who says he wants to date you, but he doesn't actually show up. Be the person who shows up for you. Be the person who wakes up and thinks you're the best hang and would rather spend the whole day with you than anybody else. Be the person who champions your own art and development. You can do that because you are, in fact, the Pacific. You are an ocean of depth and beauty, and you have it in you.